Hey, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is your boy 𝗵𝗸𝗀𝗀, and today we're going to be talking about the Verizon Internet Gateway for 5G and LTE home internet. So if you have Verizon wireless coverage in your home, and if you're sick and tired of your home internet, Xfinity, or even CenturyLink, and you want to try a different provider, then maybe this might be for you. How is that a spider? I'm going to flip that out. Can't tell if that's a spider. Okay, cool. Anyways, so I hate spiders. We're in a basement, so there's plenty of them. Summer's coming along, and I need to get some more spider traps. I hate spiders. So if you want to try the Verizon Internet Gateway, you can do it for free for 30 days, and that's what I'm doing. See how it's going, and we're going to be doing an unboxing, a little bit of a tech review, and see what features it has. The main feature that I really am worried about, if it has port forwarding, and if it does, then it's definitely a keeper for me. It can range anywhere between 80 to 300 megabytes a second download, and as for upload, I am not sure, but then again, it varies from location to location and where you set this up. They say you put it against the window, against the wall, so it can have good coverage. Ideally for me is to stick it in my server rack and make sure, because there's my two ISPs. Now there's going to be a third one. If I decide to keep it, I'm not getting rid of these two, but ideally for me, I want to stick it in there, but I'm probably not going to, because it's a metal box and it will deplete the signal. So let's go ahead and unbox this and see what it comes with. And it does come with a pamphlet. So once you do get your thingy, your gateway, you got to scan this, and on the other side it's for LTE home. Let me just flip that around because it shows my IMEI sticker. Alright, and it's for the LTE home, and you just scan that with a QR code and it'll make you go through the setup process. But I want to unbox this. Here's information in the back of it if you want any information about it, but there it is. And I already ripped out the seal, or cut the seal, and just gonna flip it up like that. I know it's a little bit of I'm gonna have to censor that out. And so a setup guide, and here is the QR code at the bottom right. It gives you a little bit of instructions, and I'm gonna move this right side up. In here is a Ethernet cable and a power adapter, and that's basically it. There's nothing else. Nice packaging, but that's basically it. So underneath where you see the FCC logo and all the other logos, underneath that is where the SIM card is laid and set it in. And then you have the reset button to the right, two Ethernet port adapters, RJ45s, and a burl connector for the power supply. And I'm just covering it because I don't want to show my serial number and IMEI. I don't want to edit that out because I am a lazy YouTuber / editor. In the back, you see a button, and that is for WPS pairing, I believe. You should disable that because for hacking-wise, neighbor-wise, that they could get into it, but if that button is pressed, and they can generate a guessing number, but I would just disable it if that's an option. But that's basically it from bottom to top. It's white all around and with ventilating holes. So let's go ahead and plug this bad boy in. So now it's plugged in, it's blinking a white light, and I'm going to follow the instructions. Check for a solid light, and it means it's starting up. It can then the light may fluctuate between red and white for up to 5 minutes. Do not unplug. If it's settled on solid white, you're all set. If it blinks white, it's updating software. Do not unplug, which that's important because you might brick the thing while it's updating. Let's see, for about 3 minutes. If it settles in solid red, then repeat step 1 and in a different spot in your home, which it might not have a connection from the cell towers to where this is located at, and or get help on my Verizon app. Then connect your devices. Use the Wi-Fi name password printed underneath the gateway. Connect your devices to your new Wi-Fi and visit the My Verizon app to personalize your Wi-Fi name and password. Well, I don't want to do that through the app. Some of you are interested in that, but I want to see if it has a GUI, a web interface GUI, such as if you were to connect to it, type in 192.168.something.something, and make modifications through the web GUI, which I'm most interested in that. So we will be right back until this thing boots up. So it's just basically the same instructions that it gives you on the pamphlet. We're just going to go ahead and just download the Verizon app. Well, the app is stupid, and I tried to do a password forget, but it is what it is. But however, when you do flip it upside down, and once it is a solid white color, you can enter in the web GUI. I'm going to go ahead and hook this up towards my network. And for the people who want information about the cable that it comes with, it is a Cat 5e. And Cat 5e can support up to 1 gigabit network speed. I'm just trying to get it on a flat surface, or flip it right side up, so you guys can read the small text. If you guys want the information about that, just slowly pan it on over, and just do it just one more time. All right, I'm just gonna get this hooked up towards my network and plug this in, and I'll show you the web GUI, and awesome. So now that we're on the desktop, you'll notice that mine says 15.168.0.1. By default, it's 192.168.0.1, and you're probably wondering, why is it different? Because the 192 is already in use, so I had to change the IP address on this. So you can find the information on the bottom of your router, or the gateway as they call it. It's a modem mana router, but there's the information in the sticker, and you just log into it. And there's information that will be blurred out just for my own privacy sakes, such as the external IP address right here. The internal I do not care about, but the external I do, and along with the MAC address. So let's go ahead and skim through some things and see what it has to offer. It has the 2.4 and the 5 gigahertz band, and I assume when it says band steering, if I had to take an educated guess, is if I have a device that is 2.4 gigahertz, it will automatically detect that and make sure it uses the 2.4 gigahertz older technology Wi-Fi band versus the 5 gigs. So that's why I think that's what it means. But you could disable it and just enable one of each, or have them both enabled, and give yourself the Wi-Fi name, the password, and unfortunately, oh, it does. Okay, cool, because it only has 𝗹𝗶𝗶𝗁2. Just wondering why it doesn't have. It's automatically selected on 𝗹𝗶𝗶𝗁3, which you guys should use. And the encryption is AES. You can have a guest network on, so it is not essentially on the same LAN network that you're sharing with all of your other devices. It can be isolated. Statistics, it will show who is connected wirelessly, and WPS, you should have that disabled just for security reasons, but it's on. There is parental controls, and you can add a new device and allow it enable this entry, and we're not going to mess with that. But if you want to enter it manually, then you got to find the MAC address of the device, or find what device is what, and since it's already pre-filled, and give it a time, schedule date, etc. And as for the network, here's the map that shows what's connected via LAN or to WAN. So here is the LAN, where there's my router, then there's a connected Wi-Fi device, which is my iPhone, and it shows you whatever else. But I'm not going to click on network status because it shows all of the information. I'm not going to click on this as well, and same thing with cellular. At the moment, I'm on LTE because the location of my gateway is on the floor, and it's not a long enough reach towards the window or to the top of my server setup, but it is what it is. So underneath the LAN, which I'm going to mask that out, this is where I changed my IP address. So instead of 192.168, it is now 15.168.0.1 and the subnet. I'm going to enable pass-through, meaning that everything else, a whole lot of this is going to be disabled, the function of it, but the internet's just going to pass on through my modem, or my router, in which I'll do it here in a bit. It supports IPv6, which we're running out of IPv4s. Client list, it'll show you what is currently connected on the LAN and Wi-Fi versus the network map. It's just a generated list instead of something that's more graphical. As for device settings, you can change your admin password. As for what is this? Automatic. I don't. Why is this even an option if there's no manual mode? You can restore backup firmware, which I should maybe back it up because I'm about modifications. And you can restore it. You can do a factory reset or hit that little button physically with a toothpick or a thumbtack at the bottom of the modem. Preferably hold it down to anywhere between 10 and 30 seconds, then you'll be fine. Firmware, if it wants me to click on it. No, I can't click on anything now. All right, so I was wondering why I was not able to load my own modem. My firewall picked up something that it was downloading a zip file, which that is completely fine, so I just need to go ahead and clear it. And we need to, no, it's fine. This IP is fine. We're gonna whitelist it. So something like that should not occur again. All right, cool. It's back. Yeah, always check your firewalls if you're definitely running pfSense. What do you mean? All right, let me get the password again. All right, so I said I wouldn't click on the cellular traffic query. Now it just shows you how much data that's been used to upload and download, which is actually pretty cool. And cellular, it just says connected and the SIM's ready and your APN. However, I don't want to click on network status because it shows more information, but it will tell you if you're on LTE or 5G, and just because the location of my modem or gateway, it's LTE. We were on this before my thing messed up. So as for no, we were on backup and restore. Okay, so yeah, if you make any modifications, you can back it up. And as for firmware, check for a new version and no update applied. I'll do that later. And as for open source, okay, I don't care. Diagnostics, so if you need to run like a ping to see if the modem is able to get the internet but your other devices is not, then that should say that this modem, or excuse me, the gateway is connected towards the internet, but the other devices that's not getting internet, there's something wrong with it. So that's what this here is for, to determine if this specific gateway is the problem or if it's your other devices. Security, let's check out firewall. Maximum level and medium, IPS firewall, DOS protection, WAN block ping. So if outside network is trying to ping your IP, then it won't go. And if it's inside the network, which is LAN, the ping will be blocked, which is disabled, which, you know, it doesn't, you can enable it if you want to, but I would just keep it disabled if you do want to check if you're able to talk to other devices on your network. MAC or IP/MAC binding, I'm not sure what that is. Access control, so this will allow you to block out certain websites. You know, I'm gonna disable that. I guess it goes back to the binding list. IP address. Okay, so this is a little bit weird. I'm not going to get too much into that, but this has to do with what could be accessed on the network and not. That goes like visiting websites or just blocking the entire computer or device as a whole. As for NAT forwarding, so DMZ, I enabled mine, so I was able to yours by default is off. I enabled mine to make modifications towards my network so I can access this entire gateway as a whole. UPnP is, you want that enabled. Most routers are enabled because it does automatic port forwarding to allow a service, such as if you're playing games and it needs that, then, you know, if you on Xbox or PlayStation or even Nintendo Switch, if you have a NAT issue, enable that and save it. I don't know what ALG is. I'm not going to touch that. Okay, no, this PPTP, that and these right here, I know for sure are VPN protocols. So if you run a VPN, leave these enabled. TFTP, file transfer protocol, if I would assume correctly. RTSP, that is for video streaming services, so just leave these all on. And for virtual servers, they couldn't just say just simple port forwarding. So this is where you do your port forwarding. If you want to do a single port or a range of ports, instead of opening the entire network like I did, which is, you know, don't open your entire network unless if you know what you're doing. But if you want to just get a, whatchamacallit, a device, like if you need to open up a Minecraft server, you enable that, you give it a name, the external IP, probably leave that blank, or because the external IPs are really confusing for me, but the internal, or external port, the internal port is because it's receiving it's receiving from the internet and going towards your device. But since it needs both to fill out, because it's red, just copy the same IPs and figure out which device that you want to port forward and give it either TCP or UDP, and that's it. Or you can select all. But that's a fairly simple. QoS, quality of service, you want that on. I don't know why they don't have that turned on, but you want that on. That is to give prioritization of which device will get the most bandwidth. And like, for example, if I'm playing games on my Xbox or whatever console, it will prioritize my device over other devices because it needs that bandwidth and it needs that lower ping. It just needs that better connection. And if, say, grandma is going on Facebook just to scroll, you know, through the wall and the photos and just like, share, comment, subscribe stuff, which you guys should do in the video, she is not in demand of heavy consumption of bandwidth versus a gaming device. But she will be fine. But, you know, I'm just differentiating the difference. I think that's basically it. If you guys like the video, go ahead and like, share, comment, subscribe. I guess I did this all in one take, so I don't really need to make another video about this, other than actually last thing, I did move my my Verizon modem above my server rack, and I just got a longer Ethernet cord. It's like a 50-foot. It's a little bit of overkill. Everything about this is overkill, but I did run a speed test, and it made a significant difference of where you place this fucker. So make sure it's like right next to a window. If there's a cell tower like visible, then line it up with the cell tower. But it does make a big difference, because when I was doing a speed test, it was like right down there. So let me go ahead and just run a quick speed test, which is right here. And we had a lower ping, which was 45, And when I did it previously, it was like 30. Okay, well, it was like 35, but as you can see, placing it does make a big difference. So we were hitting 60 megabytes a second, and we were hitting 10 plus, and we're gonna hit 10 plus again. So it does make a difference of where you do place it, because it is wireless versus hardwired, which I have on my 2 ISPs, and it doesn't matter where I place them, just as long as they're hardwired. But yeah, just want to give a little bit more of an accurate presentation, but that's it. I hope you guys take care. Bye.
Thank you for sticking around. Please feel free to watch my other videos. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, follow my social media. If you're feeling generous, check out my Patreon or send in a donation of any amount with PayPal. It really helps out with post-production, equipment, food in my belly, and also continue making free content for you guys. Links in the description. Y'all take care, and thank you once again.